You know, we spend so much time talking about the electric vehicle revolution. We cover the batteries, the cars, the policy,
Hmm.
but we rarely talk about the actual, the physical act of getting energy into the machine. We're still kind of stuck in this 100-year-old mindset.
Well, completely. It's the destination model. You go to the fuel. The fuel
Yes,
doesn't come to you.
exactly. But today we're looking at something that, well, it flips that model completely on its head.
It does.
We're doing a deep dive into a service called Sacramento Mobile EV Charging Solutions. And before you say, okay, it's a local business, so what? Hold on.
Right.
Because when you look at what they're actually doing and even how they've positioned themselves right down to their URL, sacramentomobileevecharging.com, it feels like a glimpse into the next phase of infrastructure.
It really is. It's a move from centralized infrastructure, like a gas station or a big supercharger lot, to something that's decentralized, it's on demand. It's a huge logistical shift.
So let's tear this apart. The company name is a bit of a mouthful. Sacramento Mobile EV Charging Solutions.
It is.
But every single word in that title seems to be doing some heavy lifting about where the market is going. I want to start with mobile,
Right. Mobile.
because mobile implies the tether is cut.
That's the core innovation here. I mean, think about the current friction of owning an EV. It's not driving it. Driving it is great. The friction is always range anxiety.
Always.
But if you really drill down on that, range anxiety is just access anxiety. You aren't really afraid of running out of power. You're afraid of not being able to find a plug when you need one.
Or finding a plug that's broken or occupied or in some sketchy parking lot at 2 in the morning.
Precisely. So, by introducing a mobile element, this service is effectively treating energy as a delivery service, not a destination. It's the Uber Eats model applied to electrons.
Ah, that's a great way to put it.
You don't go to the restaurant, the dinner comes to your door. In this case, the grid extends to wherever your car happens to be parked.
Which changes the economics for the user, right? Because time is the one thing you can't buy back. If I have to drive 20 minutes out of my way to sit at a charger for 40 minutes, I mean, that's an hour of my life gone.
And that's where the value proposition shifts. If you look at their site, sacramentomobileevecharging.com, they aren't competing on the price of electricity. They can't.
No way.
A fixed station that's connected directly to the high-voltage grid is always going to be cheaper per kilowatt hour than a truck carrying a giant battery or a generator.
So you're paying for the convenience.
You're paying for the logistics. You're paying for the service of not having to go to the station. It's a premium service layer on top of a commodity.
But, I mean, is this scalable? Sure, if I'm stranded on the side of the I-5 in Sacramento with a dead battery, this is an absolute lifesaver. But can mobile actually replace the gas station model, or is it just an emergency patch?
That is the billion-dollar question. If we view it only as roadside assistance, then yeah, it's a niche. It's basically AAA for the electric age.
Right.
But if you view it as concierge charging, it becomes a lifestyle product. Imagine you work in a huge office park in downtown Sacramento. You park your car at 9 a.m. You don't want to hunt for the 2 charging spots in the garage that are already taken.
Oh, charger hogging is real. I've seen it.
So you just park anywhere, you pull up the service on your phone, you tag your location, and a van comes by while you're in a meeting, tops you off, and leaves. You come back to a full battery.
Okay, that's not emergency recovery.
No.
That's a fundamental change in how we interact with the grid.
It effectively turns every parking spot into a charging spot without digging up the asphalt.
Yes, exactly. And that solves a huge infrastructure problem. We can't just dig up every street and parking lot in America to lay copper wire in the next 5 years. It's not feasible.
Not at all. Mobile charging bridges that gap. It allows infrastructure to be, well, fluid.
Which brings us to the geography part of the name, Sacramento. Why does the location matter so much here? Why isn't this just, national mobile charging?
Because energy logistics are hyper-local. You can't software update your way out of traffic patterns or local grid limitations.
True.
And Sacramento is a fascinating test case.
Yeah.
It's California, so EV adoption is high.
Right.
But it's also really sprawling. It's not like San Francisco or Manhattan, where everything is vertical and tight. Sacramento is spread out, and it gets hot,
Incredibly hot.
which impacts battery performance. So you have a sprawling city, high EV adoption, and climate factors that can drain batteries faster. A mobile solution in Sacramento has to deal with traffic and logistics that are totally different from, say, a service in Tokyo or London.
So it feels like the Sacramento part of the name and the URL is almost signaling competence. It's saying, we know this terrain.
It's infrastructure fit.
Yeah.
You know, we always talk about product market fit, but in physical services, you need infrastructure fit.
That's a great term.
A massive tanker truck might work for mobile diesel delivery for semis on a highway, but it won't work for charging a Tesla in a tight parking garage in Midtown Sacramento. You need the right size vehicle, the right connectors, the right knowledge of the local grid map.
So localized branding isn't just small town thinking, it's an operational necessity.
I'd argue it's a competitive advantage. If I'm a user, I trust Sacramento Mobile EV Charging Solutions more than some generic app that might just be contracting out to a third party who doesn't even know the area.
Okay, let's pivot to the third part of the name, solutions. Now, usually when I see the word solutions in a business name, my eyes just glaze over.
I know the feeling.
It feels like corporate speak for we didn't know what else to write. But in this context, do you think it actually means something?
I think it does. And I think it points directly to the B2B market.
Fleets.
Fleets, 100%. If you were just selling charging, you're selling a plug. If you're selling solutions, you're selling uptime. Think about the delivery wars. Amazon, UPS, FedEx, they're all electrifying their fleets.
And they have a last mile problem too.
They do.
Yeah.
Let's say you run a local delivery service in Sacramento with 50 electric vans. Do you have the capital to build a massive fast charging depot? Maybe not.
Probably not.
Do you have the grid capacity at your warehouse to charge 50 vans at once overnight? Almost certainly not without a massive expensive upgrade from the utility company, which could take years.
So you hire Sacramento Mobile EV Charging Solutions.
Exactly. They come to your lot at night, they charge the fleet. Or if a driver runs low mid-route, they can meet them for a rapid top-up so the package gets delivered on time. That is a solution. It solves a logistical nightmare.
That makes so much sense. It moves the business from a consumer retail model, I need 20 kilowatt hours, to an operational support model.
Yes.
I need my fleet running 24/7.
And that is where the margins are. B2C is tough. Chasing individual car owners around a city is expensive.
Sure.
But securing a contract to charge 20 vans every single night, that's recurring revenue. That's a stable business.
It's just interesting how a generic-sounding word like solutions actually lets them pivot between being a consumer safety net and a commercial partner.
Flexibility is key in a market that hasn't settled yet.
Right.
We don't know if battery swapping will take off. We don't know if induction charging on highways will become a real thing.
Right.
By branding as solutions, they aren't tying themselves to one specific piece of hardware. They are tying themselves to the problem of empty batteries.
I want to talk about the digital footprint here. The website is sacramentomobileevcharging.com. It is direct.
It is aggressively functional.
It's not Volt.io or Spark.net or something clever. It's exactly what it is.
This is pure intent-based strategy. Think about the user journey here. What are you looking for this company?
When I'm in trouble or when I have a very specific need.
Right. You're likely in a high-stress or high-intent state. You pull out your phone. You aren't browsing for cool brands. You are typing into Google, mobile, EV, charging, Sacramento.
And boom, there's the URL. It matches the query perfectly.
It's SEO gold. But it's more than that. It removes cognitive load. If you see a search result for, I don't know, Zappo Energy, you have to click to figure out if they do mobile charging or if they just sell solar panels.
Yeah.
If you see Sacramento Mobile EV Charging.com, you know exactly what you are getting before you even click.
It's almost anti-branding. It's prioritizing utility over identity.
In the utility sector, utility is the identity. You don't need a lifestyle brand for your plumber or your electrician. You just need to know they can do the job. This URL signals we are the tool for this specific job.
It's a tool. That's a great way to put it. The website isn't a marketing brochure. It's a digital dispatch system.
And for you, learner listening to this, that's a key takeaway on how new markets emerge. In the beginning, you don't need extraction. You need description. You need to tell people exactly what the new thing is.
So taking a step back, we're looking at this local Sacramento entity. We've got the mobile aspect, the hyper-local focus, the commercial solutions angle. What does this tell us about the future of energy? Are we looking at the death of the gas station?
I think we're looking at the unbundling of the gas station.
Unkindling.
Yeah, think about what a gas station really is.
Yeah.
It's a convenience store, a bathroom, and a fuel depot all bundled together.
Okay.
And they're bundled because the fuel had to be stored in big underground tanks. You had no choice but to put all those services in one place.
Right. I don't go to the gas station for the weird hot dogs. I go for the gas and I grab a coffee because I'm already there.
Exactly. With EVs, the fuel is everywhere. It's in your garage, it's at the grocery store, and with services like this, it's literally on a truck driving around Sacramento. So if the fuel is everywhere, the station loses its monopoly on your visit.
So the convenience store has to survive on its own merits, and the fuel just becomes a background service.
Precisely. Sacramento Mobile EV Charging Solutions suggests a future where fueling is passive. It happens while you sleep, while you work, or while you shop. It's not an errand anymore.
That is a massive shift in mindset, from hunting for fuel to receiving fuel.
It changes urban planning, too. If you don't need corner gas stations, that land becomes available for housing or parks. If you don't need massive charging lots, parking can be more efficient.
But there's a counter-argument, isn't there? Efficiency. I mean, is it really efficient to drive a heavy truck carrying a heavy battery to go charge another heavy car? There's a lot of energy loss there.
There is. You're right. Thermodynamics is a harsh mistress. You are losing energy in the transfer, and you are spending energy to move the delivery vehicle. From a pure physics standpoint, plugging directly into the grid is always better.
So this is a convenience premium. It's a luxury.
It is. But remember, the grid is rigid. Human behavior is fluid. The inefficiency of the truck might be outweighed by the efficiency of the user not having to detour, or the efficiency of a fleet staying in operation for an extra hour.
It's economic efficiency versus energetic efficiency.
Precisely. And in a capitalist market, economic efficiency usually wins.
That's true. I also wonder about the grid resilience aspect. We mentioned the Sacramento heat. If the grid goes down, rolling blackouts, which happen, does a mobile solution become a backup generator on wheels?
Ideally, yes. If these mobile units are charged from solar or stored energy outside the immediate blackout zone, they become emergency response units. They can power a dialysis machine in a home or keep a police car running.
So solutions again, now it's disaster recovery.
It creates a mesh network of energy. Instead of one big pipe failing, you have thousands of little batteries moving around the city. It's much more robust, in theory.
It's fascinating how much you can read into a simple service provider. We see a truck with a logo, but it represents a complete restructuring of how we power our lives.
That's the beauty of looking at the edge cases. The future doesn't happen all at once in the center. It happens on the edges in places like Sacramento with specific little companies filling specific little gaps.
So for our listener who might be in Sacramento or really anywhere where EVs are growing, what should they be looking for?
Don't just look for where the chargers are. Look for services that decouple the charger from the location. If you see companies like this popping up in your area, it's a sign that the EV market is maturing. It's moving past the early adopter phase into logistical reality.
And practically speaking, if you are in Sacramento, bookmark the URL, sacramentomobileevcharging.com.
It's a good insurance policy to have in your back pocket.
It really is. You know, I'm stuck on this idea of the unbundled gas station. It makes me wonder if charging becomes mobile and invisible, what happens to the social aspect of travel? You know, the road trip pit stop.
That's the human element. We might miss the bad coffee and the stretching of the legs, but I suspect new rituals will just replace them.
Maybe. Or maybe we'll just be happy to never smell gasoline on our hands again.
I think most people will take that trade.
Before we wrap up, I have to ask. We've talked about mobile charging vans. What's the next logical step? Drones. Robots.
Well, we are already seeing prototypes of those little snake chargers in autonomous garages that find the port and plug themselves in.
Yeah.
But if we really look at mobile solutions, the ultimate endgame is dynamic wireless charging.
Driving over a strip in the road that charges you as you go?
Exactly. The road itself becomes the charger. Then the whole concept of fueling disappears entirely. You are just powered, always.
Infinite range.
Infinite range. But until we dig up the entire interstate to install induction coils, SacramentoMobileEVCharging.com is the bridge to that future.
It's the bridge we need right now.
It is.
Well, this has been a surprisingly deep dive into what looked like a simple local business.
A micro always reveals the macro.
I love that. The micro reveals the macro. We'll leave it there. For everyone listening, thanks for plugging in with us today.
Stay charged.
See you next time.